So I took out the first part of this sentence because, of course, this is not shaded Doody. I really appreciate the upload. You make this a lot easier. But Doody had a sound effect playing that was really loud and playing over him, and you couldn't hear him anyway. So all he said was that him and Kat had an appointment to go to, and they had other things to do, and they didn't know how long they were going to be out. And then he comes in where I'm going to start.
Okay, so because of that, essentially, we had to do weird food stuff. Like normally we wouldn't, but we actually ordered in a breakfast yesterday, okay, which we usually wouldn't do. But we did that because we're like, okay, let's order in a breakfast because we need to eat quick so we can get ready to go and not be late for our first appointment.
So he's in a rush to get to his first appointment in the morning. And their first thought for breakfast is let's get something delivered. We're off to a horrific start. There is a plethora of other options that would have been faster than getting breakfast delivered. A bowl of cereal is a quick start. You can put it together in under a minute, and you could even walk around the house as you get ready eating a bowl of cereal. Toast and eggs, also pretty quick. You just throw some eggs in the pan real quick, get them nice and good, and then make some toast. They even got that new space age toaster that they don't know how to work. They could figure that out. They could have made some Pop-Tarts, toaster strudel, a little Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl. Could have had bagels, or the all-time classic, just have a coffee and go on with your day. You don't have to eat breakfast, especially if you're in a hurry. They probably even could have got a McDonald's breakfast on the way to their appointment. That shit's fast as hell. But nah, we got to pay those Doordash delivery fees, so we got some Doordash.
We can't grab food while we're out because number one, it'll be too late, and number two, we don't know how much time we would have. We can't sit down anywhere. Let's just order something in.
DSP must have the worst time management skills of any human being on the face of this planet. There's no way in hell that DoorDashing breakfast is faster than just stopping at a McDonald's or something really quick in the morning. I keep saying McDonald's because that's my first thought, but I know there's other places you can get breakfast. Stay with me. But stopping at a McDonald's or something to get breakfast and just going. You don't have to stay there and eat it. You can eat in the car. That is the entire point. I know that car has cup holders. Eat your stupid sandwich with one hand as you drive, and she can eat in the passenger seat. It really is that simple.
So we had actually ordered a breakfast, and it's from a local place that we really like, but we have noticed in the last couple of years the place can be very hit or miss. And what I mean by that is sometimes this place is absolutely outstanding. Super good food, great quality, and then other times they screw it all up. And sadly, yesterday was one of those days. We ordered the food, it took over an hour to get it, and it was their fault. They were taking forever to make the food. So were they busy? I mean, maybe, but when you get an order, do you really take like an hour to make the food? And it really did. It took them that long.
Yeah, it probably did take them that long. Maybe somebody didn't show up for work today. Maybe they really were that busy. Anything could happen, and that's why you should have just ate a bowl of cereal or something if you were in such a hurry. If time was really of the essence as you imply it is, then you should have just never ordered anything. And knowing you, you probably ordered from like a diner or something. Not exactly the fastest food on the planet.
By the time the food showed up, we were already running late because we were expecting the food was going to show up earlier. And then the food was all, let me put it this way. They didn't really mess it up. But for example, let's say you're ordering a breakfast combo. And you're like, okay, well, normally what we would do is we would do a substitute.
God, the worst kind of customer.
Because one of the breakfast combos comes with, say, sausage, and we don't want the sausage. So we would put a note and say, hey, if possible, could you just give us like an egg in here instead of the sausage? Because we really don't feel like the sausage. So they didn't read any of our notes whatsoever. They disregarded all of them as if we had never written them.
Well, in your example, you did say if possible, and today they decided no, it wasn't possible. They're probably busy. My first job was at a McDonald's. I promise this will be relevant. And nothing was more frustrating than someone asking for a substitution. It is so much worse than a subtraction or an addition. This might be some sort of hot take. I see people complaining about this all the time, like, oh, how hard is it? Let me tell you, when you're in the groove and all of a sudden someone wants to substitute something, your whole rhythm kind of gets messed up because you've been making the same food back to back to back, and you know how to make it, and it just becomes second nature. The second you have to change that, and not change it by just adding one thing or just don't put the thing on, but don't put the thing on and put something else on instead, it kind of just messes up your whole rhythm. I don't know, maybe this is my smooth brain showing, but I can't stand substitutions. If you're going to substitute, just order something else. Addition, subtraction, totally fine. Substitutions, you're out of your mind, absolutely not.
And then in addition to that, they didn't give us half the stuff that goes with the food. So if you're getting a breakfast combo and it's supposed to come with like a kind of jelly or jam, and it's supposed to come with some kind of a condiment to go with it, they gave us nothing, right? So my wife really likes ordering breakfast crepes from this place. We ordered breakfast crepes. They gave us absolutely nothing to go with them. So it was just plain crepes. Plain. Do you know what plain crepes taste like? They're not great. You need to have something with the crepe to make it taste better. And that was the point. It was supposed to come with a bunch of stuff. It came with nothing. They ripped us off, basically.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that you're at home then. Because one of the best parts about getting food delivered is not only that you don't have to leave your house, But also when they forget things like sauces or toppings or whatever that you can just make up for it yourself. You shouldn't have to do that, but instead of complaining about it online how she had to eat plain crepes, you could have just fixed it yourself at your own house.
See, my food, I ordered a breakfast combo, and again, we've ordered from this place before. This plate, it was so greasy. And it was just eggs over easy, like a couple pieces of bacon and some breakfast potatoes. And the whole thing was just like dripping with grease. I was like, dude, I've never seen it this bad before. It was really disgusting.
DSP is the only guy I have ever heard of that has this many problems with their Doordash deliveries. But I guess when you Doordash as much as him, you're bound to have more mess ups. Similar to how if you have more cars on the road, there will be more car accidents just by volume. Still, it seems like every Phil's Day Off segment just is messed up Doordash deliveries. Maybe he should just go to the places and then he can complain to these people when the food is messed up. Wouldn't that be an idea?
So we didn't even eat that much. To be honest, like we didn't even eat that much for breakfast. We kind of each ate a little bit of each of our breakfasts, and we were very disappointed with it. I'm like, well, that sucks. What can you do? We were in a rush to get food. The food shows up late, and then it's not even good.
So did you learn your lesson? Who am I kidding? Of course you didn't.
So then, like I said, we had gone out and we had done a whole bunch of stuff, multiple appointments, haircut appointment, other appointments and things we had to do. And this ended up being a day where, and this almost never happens on our day off, but we got so wrapped up in everything we were doing, we were out way late. Like typically I would say on a usual day off, we would end our day with getting dinner somewhere or coming home and ordering dinner.
You know, for a dude who's living tip to tip, he sure does eat out a lot. I've stated before, I'm a really frugal guy, and one of the best ways that I save money is I just don't go to restaurants all that often. I don't go to fast food places for lunch. I don't constantly go out to eat for dinner. We make food at home. That's why we buy groceries. That thing that DSP claims he's always doing on his day off, buying groceries, yeah, you actually use that to make food that you eat at home.
In this case, we were out past like 9 p.m. and we hadn't even eaten yet. Okay? That's how crazy busy of a day it was for us.
I find these segments really frustrating because he gives us times, but then he won't tell us what he actually did. So I'm to assume that he left in the morning because they had to eat breakfast and were late because of the breakfast. But morning to me is like 9:30 at the latest. So you're meaning to tell me that he was out from 9:30 to 9? I find it kind of ridiculous that he would be busy with things literally for 12 hours straight and had the inability to have any food before then. Just from one adult who runs a household to another, I don't really know how you could be busy for 12 hours with actual like appointments and whatnot. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe for him because he has to do everything on his day off. He can't do anything during the 6 days that he streams. He absolutely can't do one minute task. But still, that just seems ridiculous.
So we get home, and of course Jasper's like, where have you been? You've been out so long today. You're never out that long. And he's right. It's a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'm sure he said it just like that.
So he came home. We're like, well, what are we gonna do? I mean, we could have tried to eat out at like 9 p.m., but at that point it's so late. A lot of places are closing, and also if there are people out, might be busy. Like, yeah.
You could go home and cook dinner. If it's late out and places are closing and you haven't eaten dinner yet, you go home and you like make a frozen pizza or something, right? That's what a normal person would do. They would eat some fucking ramen noodles or something. Pizza rolls, delicious. Just cook up some chicken and rice real quick. It takes like 20 minutes. Since you didn't get an actually good breakfast, you could go home and make breakfast for dinner. It doesn't take that long at all. Just eggs, bacon, toast, bam, done. Or heaven forbid, you have to eat a lunch meat sandwich and some chips for your glorious dinner.
So we came home, and of all things, okay, guess what we had for dinner yesterday? You'd never guess, all right? Burger King.
I have no way to prove it, but you'll just have to believe me. I was at work listening to this segment, and I had actually went to Burger King for lunch myself. And before he said it, I actually guessed Burger King. Again, I have no way to prove it, but I'm always hyped for when I guess things correctly just because. And I know that I said that I don't go out to eat all that often. I really don't. It was an exception to the rule. Okay, shut up.
Yes, that's right. We had Burger King for dinner yesterday. And I will say this, all right? Burger King is not bad if you can get it from a decent location, much like any of these franchise fast food places.
And you know it's a decent location if there's nobody shooting up in the parking lot. Just an FYI.
We have been to absolutely atrociously bad Burger Kings. The one that we went to 2 years ago that gave us the infamously bad chicken sandwich that was inedible. Yeah, it's kind of, it's infamous. But if you can go to a good one or order from a good one, it's actually not that bad.
Who knew that when you went to a restaurant that has good service and is in a good location that it's good? I thought they just put fast food restaurants around just because, not that anyone would actually want to eat at them because they have decent food.
And what we ended up finding out is we came home, we were really hungry. We're like, but what are we gonna do? Am I gonna go out drive again and just grab something? And my wife was like, well, is there something quick we could just order? You know.
So the second DoorDash of the day was Fat Cat's idea. Okay. Way to throw her under the bus there, DSP. And again, the fastest, easiest option is just to make something quick at home.
And we started looking online. The problem is all the fast food places online are insanely expensive. They up their prices like crazy. But when we were looking around, like Burger King, they actually had like a nice family pack where you can get like a bunch of burgers and some sides for like $20. And I was like, well, if you order just like a combo, it's like $15 on these delivery apps. But if you order this special delivery combo, it's like way cheaper.
You know, the food would have been cheaper if you would have just got it on the way home. Like on the way home, you knew that you had to eat still. You knew what time it was, and you didn't stop at your local Burger King. Instead, you were going to get it DoorDash. You chose to get it DoorDash. That's what makes this even stupider. It's one thing to get DoorDash because you don't want to leave your house. You're in for the night. It is what it is. It's another thing to get DoorDash even though you just got back from being out. If you know you needed to eat and you weren't going to make something at home, why wouldn't you just pick something up on the way home instead? Why would you go through the difficulty of getting DoorDash? Especially when your first DoorDash meal of the day, because for some reason you decided to DoorDash twice in one day, but your first delivery was all messed up. Why would you take the chance and potentially have that happen again?
I was like, oh, so let's do that. So we just ordered that, and it ended up, yeah, we got Whoppers, cheeseburgers, fries, and an onion rings showed up. I'm like, okay. And I haven't had Burger King onion rings in a while, and I'll be honest, they used to be much better, but they weren't that bad. I like them better than Burger King fries. And we each had like a Whopper, you know, which is good. The Whopper is still the consistently good burger at Burger King. It's still a giant meat patty. It's still got the flame broiled taste. It's got the condiments. It's got the everything you want on there, you know?
What a boring guy to just enjoy a Whopper like that. There's nothing wrong with a Whopper, but him being like, oh, it's got everything you want, can't complain, it's just a Whopper. It's the best thing that Burger King has. Shut up. Be more exciting. Enjoy something else.
I was not disappointed, even though obviously on our day off, typically we would eat out at a restaurant or order in somewhere nice.
Spending money you don't have. Also, I want to point out that he had mentioned in the family meal deal or whatever that he got that there was Whoppers, cheeseburgers, fries, and onion rings. And then he went on to say that him and Kat both had a Whopper, and then they had, like, obviously the fries and onion rings he mentioned. Where did those cheeseburgers go? Who ate those? Because that's kind of a lot of food for two people. Especially for a guy who says that he doesn't eat fast food and it's always greasy and it's bad for you, this, that, and the other. Who ate them cheeseburgers, Phil? And it was cheeseburgers plural. I'm only going based off of what he said himself. Obviously, my Theo theory is that Kat ate both them bitches. She had the Whopper and both cheeseburgers. But that's just my theory.
You know, being that it was such an insane day, and we were running around the whole day and we didn't really have time to do much. We just rushed and that's what we had, and it wasn't bad. I was pleased. So, you know, again, and it depends because, by the way, yes, the Burger King we ordered from was not the Burger King that infamously gave me the terrible chicken sandwich 2 years ago. It was a different location, and this one did a really good job. In fact, for delivery now, they package it up nicely into individualized bags. So, like, one bag had, like, all the sandwiches, and the other bag had, like, fries and onion rings separated. And those were sealed. And then they put that inside of a bigger bag that's, again, sealed. So it's really nice for delivery. I was like, they actually did a good job.
DSP impressed by basic restaurant practice. Because it's pretty standard practice when you have a large order like that you separate the sides and the sandwiches just because they do package easier like that. And then all the bags go into one bigger bag so it's easier to carry. Just standard practice for large quantities of food. And that is a large quantity of food for two people at least.
With this, it wasn't like they rushed it and put it in shit and someone just runs out the door with it. They actually package it nicely for delivery services. And I was like, all right, well, that's not bad at all. So, there you go. I wasn't displeased with what it was. And by the way, like I said, these days when you go to a fast food place and you buy a combo, it's probably like $10 for the combo after tax. This package was $20 for the whole thing for all this food.
This has nothing to do with DSP, but I want to give you a little tip here about fast food, being a frugal person. If you can, you absolutely should order through the app. Sometimes the deals in there can give you like twice as much food for the same price, or literally half your price for your meal. Again, nothing to do with DSP, but just a little tip for people who do eat out often or are looking to save a buck. I really can't stress it enough. It'll save you quite a bit of money.
And I was like, so basically we paid what we would have paid if I drove there. and we ended up getting more food actually because we didn't get drinks, but instead we got more food. I'm like, this is not bad, you know? So there you go. 2 years later, Burger King has redeemed themselves in my eyes, this location. And that's the thing. It depends on what location you go to. Burger King redeemed themselves in my eyes. Not to say that we'd be eating Burger King constantly. We're not going to. We rarely eat fast food. But for something, a rarity of a day that we were out so late.
Phil's such a liar, man. All he ever does is talk about eating out and eating fast food and getting Doordash. Pulling Hogan's and getting Doordash. That's what that man lives for. And drinking gin. But that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed DSP complaining about DoorDash for the upteenth time. Again, big ups Doody streams for the upload. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I also really appreciate that. Let me know how you felt about the little intro thing at the beginning, if you felt one way or another about it. But make sure you go check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that Snortex.